Good afternoon and welcome to Younib TV News at 1 with me, Eunice Mutua. I will be bringing you the latest on the political arena and of course a detailed update regarding the now ongoing nationwide voter registration that was launched yesterday and expected to run for a period of 30 days. But before that, let's take a look at our top stories this afternoon.
As we speak, our education system is in shambles. Some of our best minds in this country are university lecturers, university teachers. These are the dons. How do you get 10,000 of them to go demonstrating? Something has gone wrong.
It cannot be that a government promised us free education, and the moment they got in, they made education the most expensive commodity.
Well, I think our BVR, what you call biometric voter registration kits, are configured to take into account all those identifiers which are unique to an individual. And that's why we do the fingerprints, but also the facial features.
Although it is culture, but that is not the culture that is expressed in Article 11 of the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya provides for good culture because that is what forms the cradle of our society. So
Welcome. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) has officially initiated a nationwide continuous voter registration campaign with the objective of registering at least 6.3 million new voters in preparation for the upcoming general election. The campaign was launched in Kajiado County, representing a notable change in the voter registration process. For the first time, the Commission has integrated iris recognition technology into the biometric data collection for voters.
Well, I think our BVR, what you call biometric voter registration kits, are configured to take into account all those identifiers which are unique to an individual. And that's why we do the fingerprints, but also the facial features to allow us to authenticate that indeed, besides what is in the ID, the person who has been registered as voter is the right person. Kwa hivyo hiyo na sisi pia kwa upande ya registration ya voters, we are guided also by the Data Protection Act and of course the laws governing privacy. So we have taken into account all that. So at the moment we were given a budget by the Treasury, although there were certain budget cuts, but we've negotiated with the Treasury, and for this registration of voters, especially the first phase, this is phase 1, which will target the 290 constituencies. We have funding.
Governors are currently attributing the paralysis of devolved units to the national government, resulting in most counties postponing salary payments to their staff for the past 2 months. The governors are now insisting that the Treasury disburse their September allocation in addition to other payments that have not yet been received. Although they assert that they do not oppose the new e-procurement system, they contend that it has been ineffective, leading to a standstill in counties since its implementation 3 months ago.
Don't get fuel for 2 days. All the garbage is placed on the roads, and it becomes impossible to even visit our towns. As a council, we have no problem with automation. I want to put that on record. We have no problem whatsoever with automation. But Your Excellency, we feel that this EGP thing, along the road, you people will either realize that you are not given the full picture and would ask to revise it, or it will be implemented with pain that was not necessary. The things I say here, I am saying on behalf of the 47 governors. We feel that as governors and counties, we have really been pushed to the wall. So much so that we are unable to operate. There was already all the debate about functional integrity. There was already the debate about the dual standards in how we are handled in release of money. We have to carry bundles of vouchers to the controller's office, and we'll keep repeating this until it stops. If IFMIS itself has issues, I know governors here who are unable to pay salaries because the mapping of their budget in IFMIS was done wrongly and they were frozen. There are governors who up to today have not been able to pay salaries. So, Your Excellency, these issues are best resolved as I beg. In fact, it gets to a point where when I call governors for some of these meetings, they refuse to come. So, Your Excellency, I do hope that today's IBEC will in a very honest manner discuss these things and find solutions. I thank
Kalonzo asserts that the government's inability to address the impasse clearly indicates a regime that is not interested in resolving the crisis affecting the education sector, which includes the postponed capitation and uncertainty regarding the new funding model. The leader of the Wiper Patriotic Front Party, who engaged with university students, urged the youth to register as voters and back the united opposition's effort to assume leadership in 2027.
As we speak, our education system is in shambles. Some of our best minds in this country are university lecturers, university teachers. These are the dons. How do you get 10,000 of them to go demonstrating? Something has gone wrong.
It cannot be that a government promised us free education, and the moment they got in, they made education the most expensive commodity in this country.
William Samoei Ruto alikuwa anapewa pesa ya boom. When he was in the university, the education was free, accommodation was free, chakula ilikuwa bure, hostel ilikuwa bure, na alikuwa anapewa pesa. Why is he harassing Kenyan students?
If you are taken to do engineering, you pay higher according to this funding model, correct? If you are going to do medicine, you pay even higher, correct? We are therefore now disadvantaging some of the brightest.
In 2027, Kalonzo ametosha hajatosha. Kama alikuwa Azimio, Kalonzo alikuwa mzuri. Saizi kama Kalonzo ako opposition, sasa Kalonzo ni mbaya. Kalonzo amekosa nini so far? Amekosa nini so far? Ati tukisema pia Kalonzo tosha, ati babu ni mbaya. Mbaya what?
A family from Murang'a suffered the most from the tragic road accident that occurred on Sunday at Kikopey, resulting in the loss of 4 of their immediate relatives. The deceased include the grandparents, their 4 daughters, as well as nephews and uncles. Additionally, another family mourns the loss of a mother and her daughter in that midday collision. The families are now relying on the recovery of 3 members who survived the accident.
Kuna watu walitoka kwetu nyumbani Murang'a. Bando kuna na wa Nairobi, na mwenye alikuwa tu wasanya pamoja ni my last sister. Hiyo organization yote ilikuwa ya my last sister, ndio alikuwa na hiyo akili ya kuunganisha familia ya grandparents wakuwe pamoja.
Elayo Jambu,
nilijia huko Mosali, niliona kuko na watu walikuwa wamekatakatwa uso na wengine wameumia miguu.
Nimepoteza baba yangu mama yangu, sister wangu waine.
Niliongea nao jana asubuhi kabla pande gari. Na baadaye kitu bado nilikuwa saidia Tanzania kule. Huko kupiga simu Kenya ni haiendi through mpaka utumie WhatsApp. Sasa wakaniambia gari tumengoja gari imefika na tunaenda.
Mimi nilishtukia matatu imenikaribia.
Nilipiga honi ama mfanya nini?
Nilipiga honi. Unajua ukiona kitu mbele yako. Nilipiga honi, nikajaribu kuzuia breki kidogo. Sasa ile matatu ilikuwa na speed zaidi. Ndio ikakuja ikakutana na mimi hapo.
Ati hiyo familia ama tumeumwa na hiyo nini? Please tunaomba usaidizi sana sana sana.
We are going for a short break, but we'll be back with more stories. Stay tuned.
The best. Hallelujah.
Welcome back. Member of Parliament Elisha Odhiambo has urged Governor James Orengo to disband his cabinet and form a new one in light of an employment scandal that resulted in the dismissal of numerous health workers. Odhiambo asserts that the cabinet cannot pretend to be unaware of the scheme that led to the termination of 382 employees who were hired earlier this year. The MP made these remarks in Mutumbu while distributing funds for the empowerment of women and youth.
I want to call on Governor Orengo to make sure that he can sack all his cabinet and reconstitute cabinet so that he can perform the task that he was given to perform. You cannot have a governor who has been away from work. When he comes back, the first thing he does is the nurses who are employed, 380 nurses, were shown the door. And the governor himself said they had fake letters. It is abhorrible. It's unacceptable for you to treat people's children as lesser children of a lesser God. It's not possible. Your time is running out for Governor Orengo to put his house in order. I'm calling upon EACC to be a bit faster, and if in any way the people around Orengo are found to be culpable, we'll conclude that the governor was aware of what was happening. That is it, as simple as that. Let me join other leaders. I watched the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, castigating the leadership of President William Ruto. And he said a lot of violence was meted. I'm telling Uhuru, in 2017, you released your own wreckage squad from the presidency to come to game. And I was shot at in Ndere with your wreckage squad. How careless were you? Compare that carelessness with that you're accusing the president of. If you are a retired president, please stay home as a retiree. If you are a retiree, stay home as a retiree. As Luos, and I'm talking from Mutumbu, game headquarters. We are not leaving government. If you want to leave, leave alone. We cannot have our children killed for other communities. The Luos have sacrificed too much for Kikuyus. Will not sacrifice for you, no?
Residents of the Malava constituency in Kakamega County are calling on the IEBC to pursue legal measures against candidates who breach electoral regulations during the current preparations for the forthcoming by-elections. While addressing the issue in Shirungu Mugai Ward, the residents led by Leonard Kasaya, Chief of Staff in the Vihiga County Government, emphasized the necessity for the IEBC to rebuild public confidence by guaranteeing that by-elections throughout the nation are conducted in a free, fair and transparent manner.
The IEBC must also be strict and must be transparent, and you see it should not be a body that is not just talking. Inafaa wanazungumuza na wana act, so that when there is an act of violence, there's an act of cheating, there is an act of what, because those are the sins that cause violence. Wajaribu sana wawe juu on top of things, because these are just a by-election. So hakuna kila mahali kutakuwa na kura mingi. So we need to be very serious about particularly even the Malava election. Hii ikifanywa vizuri itakuwa mwelekeo mzuri na kupea ile tunataka uchaguzi ambao utakuwa wa amani. Tunataka kila mrengo ule, utataka mrengo wa serikali, mrengo wa upinzani waje kwetu na waombe kura yao kwa amani. Si hiyo ndio tumekubaliana? Na tumesema hatutataka kura yoyote ya fujo na hatutaki mtu yoyote kumwaga damu hapa Malava sababu ya uchaguzi, sivyo? Ule mtu ambaye tutaamua kwamba ndiye tutachagua ndio atakuwa kiongozi wetu. Sisi tunafurahia sana na tunataka kusii watu wa Malava wakiiga ule mtindo walifanya yule kura ya UDA uchaguzi na ile amani iliyowekwa. Tunataka hiyo amani wakati wa kura kuu ile ikue hivyo hivyo.
A suspect involved in the assault case concerning a 22-year-old woman was arraigned in court on Monday. However, he will remain in custody until Tuesday, awaiting a bail hearing that his lawyer has requested. The accused, Jackson Keyua, who is the victim's ex-husband, was arrested on Friday following allegations that he instructed the victim's brothers to attack her, asserting that he had already settled her dowry. He is facing charges related to the intent to abduct and confine Millicent Semeta within his residence.
They don't have sufficient reason for the accused to be denied bond. And therefore, the reason why they are asking for more time to file an affidavit, Your Honor, is to go for a fishing expedition to look for reason which they don't have.
Although it is culture, but that is not the culture that is expressed in Article 11 of the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya provides for good culture because that is what forms the cradle of our society. So we have come here to say no.
We are not going to let this case go because I know this is a second case which has come to my notice. There was a certain case again in Arosura where a lady was beaten because she had chosen to go to somebody else. Now we are saying no to this kind of injustices to women because a lady has a right to choose.
We have now come to the end of this afternoon's live broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and choosing to get informed with us. Follow us on our social media handles for more news updates. Have a wonderful afternoon. My name is Eunice Mutua and this has been Younib TV News at 1.